other one kite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live. Yes, we are live here at lifestyleradio.net, and it is the day of cannabis legalization in Canada. I'm your host, Al Graham. Tonight, my joint host is the always busy Kim Cooper, whose guest tonight helps to make sure that patients have their medications. But before that, we meet and hear more about them, I'm going to talk to Kim. Well, Kim, cannabis legalization is here. What do you think?
Woo! Fucking who! I mean, I'm ecstatic. I'm over the moon. I know a lot of people are like, boo, it's not legalization. And they're like shitting on the parade all over the place. But I'm sorry. Legalization is here in Canada. Yes, it's not perfect. It needs so much work. We have so far to go still, 100%. But this is going to benefit the masses. And it's a step in the right direction. I mean, now parents with children don't have to fear and hide smoking in the closet, fearing of CAS coming in and taking their kids away, losing jobs because somebody finds out you consume marijuana, stigma in the public within your own community and that kind of thing. You know what? It's legal now. We all pay taxes on it. Get used to it. It's a start, and it's a great start.
I have friends that have been busted for 3 joints.
That's right.
And another friend that was busted for growing 1 plant. Both of these gentlemen were 70 years of age.
Yeah. And these girls, it can't happen anymore. That's a reason to celebrate. For sure. Not perfect, but it's a start. We've got to start somewhere.
Yes, we do have to start somewhere. And our guest tonight will be able to help maybe educate our listeners tonight on where to start when it comes to growing when we introduce them. We all already see today in the news a situation has already occurred when it comes to cannabis legalization and the law.
And this kind of speaks to my excitement about this, in an odd kind of parody way with this sort of news story that we're going to talk about. A police officer, and I mean, I'm convinced this cop camped out waiting for his opportunity, but we'll talk about that later. An officer issued a ticket to somebody for improper carry of their cannabis because they were behind the wheel of a motor vehicle and they had it in their pocket.
Wrong spot. So they got a $672 ticket.
Yeah.
For this today.
Yeah, $672 fine for improper storage of your cannabis product. I mean, we have to store it properly. It can't be accessible to the person behind the wheel. Those rules were pretty well laid out in black and white for everybody to see. I mean, we should all be aware of the new rules. If you're not, you didn't do your homework. You
know what? They've got the ticket. They've got a picture of the ticket, with things blurted out. Yeah. On the article here, his actual charge is consume cannabis in a motor vehicle on a highway.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the fact that he was just carrying it illegally; he was smoking it as he was driving down the road.
More than likely, he was.
If he's consuming it,
he's consuming it.
And then the police sent out a tweet that said, "So this happened this morning. A consumed cannabis in motor vehicle ticket was issued." Just like alcohol, consuming cannabis is illegal, and like alcohol, consuming it in your vehicle is not.
Yeah, that's right. But, if this same situation, he got a hefty fine and a slap on the wrist. The same situation would have happened yesterday.
Yeah.
He would have been charged with possession.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So take your fine, Pay your fine.
Learn your lesson.
And learn a lesson. Right? I mean, you're not going to jail for possession. So that's what legalization has brought us, for sure. And there's a big difference there.
And there are alternatives. I'll
That's
just
right.
say it. I'll just say that. That's all.
Yeah, there's ways around this stuff, people. We don't need to be smoking joints in our cars. Come on now. Let's not push the
Right. Well, now, because before, there was charges before, but now they've changed and they've become stronger. And
it's a fine, and okay, get on with it. Don't be stupid, and you won't catch the fine to start with, and you'll be all right. But in yesterday's world, buddy'd be in handcuffs.
Yeah, it happened to me. Yeah. Exactly. I ride program with some, and they arrested me, and it was just a small amount. I wasn't consuming it in the vehicle.
Yeah, but you had it on you, and that was to get arrested, right?
That's
so, right. I mean, legalization is here, and it's something to cheer about. Yeah,
I agree. Time to do some more work on it, though. Just like everything else, alcohol. We're just finally getting it, 80 years later now, we're finally getting it in stores here in Ontario.
That's right. I mean, we talk about the evolution of that. You and I remember when we were younger going into that liquor store with our parents and writing out the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Basically, off the board. What did you want? You put the code number down and they handed you a brown paper bag. You didn't even get to see the bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We just we've just started to get private retail in one, and the other one's just running with private retail, depending on what province you live in.
Yeah, things evolve. This will too. It's something to work with.
Okay, well, let's bring our guest in so we can all talk about legalization and learning about our guest tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Sounds great. I'm anxious.
All right. Well, let's introduce the person, as I said, who likes to help to make sure that patients have their medications. We'd like to welcome Dr. Bud to the Pace Radio Show. Hello, Dr. Bud. Oh, Dr. Bud.
Dr. Bud, calling Dr. Bud. Oh, we lose our Dr. Bud.
I don't know. I don't see him, but I'm sure that Al is working on that. So while we work on getting connected to Dr. Bud, so how was your first day of legalization?
It was great. Of course, I was extremely busy. I had a house full of people from first thing this morning, and then I had a situation that I had to deal with, and I went and dealt with that, and then I came back, and I still have a house full of people now. It's been a busy day. Did you go on the OCS website at all?
No, I did not. No, I didn't.
I did. I was up at midnight last night, and at the stroke of midnight, I hit refresh on that page to get a look at the place last night, first thing. And wow, anything from $7.50 they started at per gram, and it ranged right up to $17.25 per gram.
Ooh. Oh. Ouch. Did we get Dr. Bud back? I see him lighting up there.
Yeah, I did, man. Sorry about that.
Glad to have you back.
Yeah, man. I'm not the techiest guy in the world.
It's all good. It's all good. We're all learning on the fly.
So good. I introduced you, and then all of a sudden, crickets.
Yeah, I know, man. The last thing I heard was, okay, we're on. Click, I'm off.
Well, I'm glad you're back. So welcome, Dr. Bud. I'm so glad to have you with us tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Good.
Legalization, guys, first of all, for everybody out there, happy Legalization Day.
Happy Legalization to you too, Dr. Bud.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. Most said we'd never live to see it, and we said, oh yeah, we'll live to see it, all right.
We proved them wrong, didn't we?
Yeah, man. Anyway, it's been a long time. We got a foot in the door, and it's not going to ever be closed again.
No, like Kim and I were just discussing, when with alcohol, it's been less than a year, less than 6 months that we've been getting alcohol in not even convenience stores, but in like Walmarts. To buy alcohol. Other than that, we've always had to go to, the government-run stores, basically.
Yeah.
To buy bottles.
Step ahead now with cannabis, with free enterprise in Ontario.
Yeah, I think I understand where you're going there with how it keeps progressing on. I'm an old fart, so I remember in the old days when we'd go to the liquor store, we'd have to take out a paper. There's a board on top would tell you all the names of it. You'd click off which ones you were doing almost in secrecy so the guy couldn't see you next door. You'd go and hand it to the guy. He would leave, go in the back room, and come back and deliver it in a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
In the brown paper bag.
Yeah, you weren't even allowed to see it. It wasn't even on the front shelf. It had to be hidden in the back rooms. And now look at it, it's on every shelf.
Yeah, and you had to write that long-ass code down, remember? You had to look on the board and they tell you this long-ass code. It's like, CBD 107-654-321. Okay, that's the one that's for the 26er. Shit, I want the Mickey. What's the other one, right?
Yeah. So it's open. A nice part about it is I don't think there's a country in the world that doesn't know now at least there's some medicinal value also to cannabis, which means the education has really moved along quickly. This is going to move. This is moving at a rapid pace. So it's not going to take very long for people to catch on it. To get it going in the right direction.
Right. And I think that's the one major difference between the alcohol system and how it evolved and the cannabis system is that the cannabis system is evolving out of the medical regime.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it kind of shines it at a different light.
Well, the whole thing, corporate world doesn't leave much light for anybody.
Well,
it's still demonetized within the whole realm of how we understand it.
Yeah.
So, but within that, the light came in what they call economics. So they seen there was a buck. So okay, it's okay now. We'll be able to do this and do this. And you guys still can't do anything, by the way. But then we'll do this. It's a joke.
Oh yeah, they've definitely taken it right over and tried to corner the market, so to speak. And I mean, the system definitely needs a lot of work. But I think because it came out of a medicinal product evolving into sort of an accepted recreational product, it makes it a little bit different to deal with than the alcohol set.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, we do have scientific documentation back supporting our statements. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's it. That's the major thing. I mean, we all know already. Alcohol kills. Cannabis doesn't.
Yeah, and we're talking about one's a medicine and one's poison. So it's even hard to relate to those two. And our world has always tried to distinguish the difference for everybody.
And today it was. On CBC, it was just wall-to-wall coverage with the cannabis stuff. And this morning they were interviewing a father, and his son was one of 5 boys. I think they were all boys that were killed in a car accident. And they said that was because they were consuming cannabis, and there was no alcohol in the system, so they connected all to the cannabis end of things. And the thing is, they have to reach back to bring this father in from an incident from 1999.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
We just saw recently how they're talking about 2 million drivers or something, 750,000 in the last month alone admit to driving with cannabis. But yet, they have to go back that far.
That's right. I mean, and that's grasping at straws, obviously, if it took a 20-year period of time to find one instance. And we can use the same similarities for almost anything. If you want, you can go back in history and say, well, this accident was caused when this guy ate too many Tylenol.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying that cannabis wasn't the part of the reason why that was
That's
the
right, but
accident.
it's one
But
in a million.
yeah. It's not like it's we're all suddenly going to be creamed
That's
by a
right.
bunch of people that are all too impaired to drive.
That's right. That's right.
So-
And that's just
But-
it. It's not a brand new drug that nobody's ever seen before, just emerging into the marketplace today. You
No.
know, I mean, and
But
that's
there
the way
are
we're treating it.
beginners. There are beginners who I agree probably shouldn't be behind the wheel.
For sure, but that goes to common sense, right?
Correct. Yeah, when you
Yeah,
still
and-
have
and then-
you still have
and then
that
I-
when you're consuming cannabis, unlike alcohol.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah,
Dr. Bud?
that's exactly correct. That's correct, exactly what he says. And he stated, well, that takes common sense. Well, the nice thing about cannabis is it gives you common sense.
That's right.
It gives you conscious awareness. It makes you better than what you are, and it makes you more aware than what you are. That's the receptors. That's how it works. So people are going to do things better and better and better and better. And the fear factors that they have to use is so pathetically thin, like you just stated, that you can't even relate to what they're talking about. It's been so, like, what is the guy even, where do you find this guy?
Yeah.
So everything they have done, though, has been all the way along. It's just been pathetically so thin and vague, and it's all been lies.
Yeah.
So, hallelujah.
You spoke about the enlightenment factor there, Dr.
Yes,
Bud, for a
absolutely.
moment. And I mean, that is so important, to stress with people that when you consume cannabis, it's not an impairment like alcohol where it makes you stupid. It turns the light bulb on, right?
Correct. It opens conscious awareness.
Exactly.
And the receptors and the scientific awareness all prove that it does. The receptors, they know what happens when it happens. It's not a big secret anymore. You have bliss receptors, and when you take certain cannabinoids, they open up and you have fun. That's cannabis.
Yeah, that's it.
And everything else that goes along with that. So it can't compare to anything they do, because there's nothing like it. It's a sacred herb.
Yeah.
This was
And
divine.
You've been studying this a long time, right?
Well, 45 years.
Kim and I were talking about this before the show. He said, "Well, you've got any information on Dr. Bud?"
Yeah.
And we're both like, "Well, I know this," and I was like, "Well, I know this," and it's like we both know so very little in the grand scheme of things. Like, I know you've been involved in Jamaica and different places around the world, and you evolved, created the wheelchair strain, but really in the grand scheme of things, we really don't know the hell of a lot about you. So you're going to have to fill in a lot of blanks for all of us.
They didn't make it very. They didn't make it very easy to. They didn't make it easy to come out of the closet and tell your story.
Yeah, I hear you there. Secrecy is safety, right?
Yeah. I got a solid 45 years in, and the last 25 years, like I say, I probably only have one subject. So, and that's been cannabis, and I'm very blessed because the knowledge is coming through the divine. I've been a steward of the seeds I traded wheelchair in 87.
Yeah.
So I was already deep into it by then. That's for sure, yes.
Then you were doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I created
that alone is 30 years, never mind the experience from before that.
Yeah. So that was kind of a very cool thing. But then everything kind of because I donated my entire life towards it, then I've been given many gifts of knowledge and information. So I don't take any credit for anything I have become in the cannabis industry. I'm actually certainly honored that I've been chosen to be a steward of the sacred seed and to be such an advocate for the sacred plant. So, 3 prison terms, longest prison term in Canadian history. I got 6 years for growing 3,000 pounds in 205 to heal the Anishinaabe Nation. That was in Saskatchewan. I seen the strife and the unbelievable happenings to our Indigenous people. And I already knew about the powers of the medicine of the cannabis, so a chief allowed me to go on their property and grow the medicine, and the RCMP didn't quite look at it that way and locked us all up in jail. But we made a very strong point that it was medicine. We went down as it being medicine, and today we wouldn't have went to jail because we were doing what's right. And Indigenous people are sovereign, and they have the right to have their own medicine and create it. So everything that out there has been very wonderful and true around the plant, except the genocide against the culture, perhaps.
Yeah.
I believe they genocided our culture also, using the evil weed to make these people who are smoking this like couch potatoes and blah, blah, and all this thing. Man, I know everybody that smokes pot, and they're doctors and lawyers and Indians and chiefs, and they're some of the most brilliant people I've ever talked to in my life. Is somebody that's going to sit down and smoke a joint with you and have a conversation, I'll tell you.
Right. That's
Dr.
right.
Bud?
I've had some of my most intelligent conversations over a joint.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dr. Bud, you mentioned there about the Indigenous rights and stuff like that, okay?
Yes.
This week during the Reefer Reporters, Kim and I discussed a UN declaration that backs cannabis for rural development, and in that, it says the right to cultivate cannabis plants in areas where its cultivation is ancestral is recognized and protected by the different international texts protecting Indigenous peoples' traditions.
Now, to me,
absolutely.
that speaks to North American natives.
Correct.
That speaks to the all Indigenous of the world, not only North American natives. That's every Indigenous in the world. And our great friend, and I'm so proud to call him my great friend, Tim Barnhart from Legacy 420, has stand like a warrior in this conversation of Indigenous rights.
Yeah.
I was doing this a million years before you guys got here. What the fuck do you think you're talking to, You guys joking? Come on now. And he's built an incredible model for the Indigenous people that could stand in any place.
And it was featured. It was featured recently in a Big Toronto Star article, which we also discussed on the Reefer Reporters too.
Yeah,
and it talked about
wonderful.
the economic benefits that it's brought to the community, the amount of money that he's been able to put into it. Yeah, and people got jobs. People are finishing their houses, their yards, getting vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the economic prosperous development that's happening there is just amazing. It's off the hook. And offshoot businesses that are creating new industry in other areas that aren't cannabis related.
Correct. This is what I like this guy. He's one smart cookie, this Mr. Barnhart, I'll tell you.
Yes, he is. Without that, we agree.
He speaks, and he speaks the truth, and it's hard to deny. And he's got some gifts, and he's got gifts how to present it properly, and he's just a super nice guy. So it all works, and we're all very proud of that. That's for sure.
For sure. Well, I want to steer this conversation back into growing because I know we're almost at break. So just before we go to break, I'll just say, when we come back from break, I want to talk about the spectacular farm that you have going over there and some of the amazing strains and crops that you are harvesting because man, oh man.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll get into that after break. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Yes.
Okay, now what I try to do, as listeners know, I try to line up our music that goes in and out of our bumpers with our guests. And today I'm going to do that with two different songs. We're not going to hear the whole song. They're going to hear a little bit of the songs. And we were talking about, we don't know a lot about you because, things have, you're sort of, kept, did low, right? So our
on the down low, brother, on the down low.
Yeah. So for this first break, people are going to hear a little bit of a song from a band called In Disguise. Okay, In Disguise, right? And they're from the east. They're from the East Coast, and they're going to have the song is called Green Outlaw.
Ah, perfect.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Imaginary at the least.
Hey, after the break, Kim and I will continue our discussion with our guest, Dr. Bud. This is the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at lifestyleradio.net.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
He's 20 miles from nowhere, choppers in the air. Tracking dogs are on him where he's going now, he don't care. They'll try and wear him down, he's got legs to spare.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Are you looking for cannabis news, education, and people's opinions? Are you looking to learn what Canadian and international cannabis advocates are doing, not only now, but what got them to this point in their lives, and what does the future hold for them? Do you want to learn how patients are using cannabis as their daily medication, or learn how their cannabis use helps them with their medical condition? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I'm going to suggest to you to tune in to Lifestyle Radio. Catch their live weekly shows and have your questions and concerns answered and find the experience you're looking for. Monday, catch your weekly news broadcast with the Reef Reporters. Then on Wednesday, get several hours worth of cannabis public education. We get things started with Cannabis and Coffee with Tamarawana. Finish up your evening with the award-winning Pace Radio Show with Al Graham and joint host Kim Cooper and Alicia Yashishin. No week would be complete without tuning into Friday night's program, the 420 Radio Show featuring Al Rapp and the 420 Radio crew, Mary Jane Baker and Marcel Gignac. Cannabis is a lifestyle, and you can catch all your cannabis lifestyle information right here at lifestyleradio.net or at our sister site, 420radio.ca. Hi, this is Al Graham of the Pace Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the Pace Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Canadays, your friendly neighborhood Campbellford head shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Let us help you grow your 4 with weekly Tuesday night gardening sessions for beginners. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Canadays, more than just a head shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
They say they're gonna win that war, it just can't be won. For every cop, there's 100 green outlaws out on the run. And they'll never stop growing, thank God I can say. For every bail that they get, 50 get away.
Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the award-winning Pace Radio Show, and we are live here at lifestyleradio.net, or you can also catch us over at our sister site, www.420radio.ca. And tonight we are broadcasting live at Ganjanista's Vapor Lounge in Hamilton, Ontario, where everybody's sitting around and enjoying the first evening of cannabis legalization here in Canada. Well, Kim and Dr. Bud, I know we got some more to discuss. Kim's got some interesting stuff she's seeing online during the break. She wants some more information. And let's get back at her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to talk all about the garden and everything that you've got going on at the garden and new strains and stuff of the harvesting. But I want to get into this story that we were briefly discussing. I'm looking at a picture and its caption on it says, "What happens when two ganja elders meet at the top of a sacred mountain?" And I'm looking at a photo of yourself and Bunny Whaler of Bob Marley and the Wailers fame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what happens when two elders meet at the top of a mountain, Dr. Bud?
They fire up a big fat ganja joint, I'll tell you that. First business covered first. That's the first thing they do, that's for sure.
Yeah. So.
I was so honored. I met Bunny. He was out playing out one evening, and we started discussing ganja. And before I knew it, he brought me home with him. And then that's his farm that we're standing on up in Eastern Morrow up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And of course, Bunny is the legendary Bunny Whaler of Bob Marley and the Wailers, the only only living legend left, and Bunny's doing okay, man. Bunny's doing okay.
I see the picture.
Yeah. He's just a sweetheart, that's for sure. I'll tell you that for sure. Of course, 50 years of ganja will do that to a guy.
It makes you look all right at the end of 50 years. You don't look like 50 years of drinking, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, I was honored to be with Bunny and stuff, and he's still part of the family. And I got to meet all the Bobos, quite a few of the Bobos of the Rastafarians. I was there when the Rastafarians got their legalization for medicinal or sacramental purposes. Right. And the governor had signed it, or the president had just signed the papers, and they were just brand new legal. And it was a pleasure being there, and it was great being part of that process, watching it being done in Jamaica, and I was so happy for all the Rastas, man. They sure deserve it. And Rastas is like indigenous, right? This is all the same people we're talking about.
That's right.
And we're Rasta. I'm Rasta. I'm white and blonde hair and blue-eyed, but I'm Rasta, That's Rastas right. Know that when the Rastas were playing, if the hippies weren't in the audience, there would have been nobody. So the Rastas and I have a very, there would have been nobody there. So the Rastas, we have a very strong relationship through the ganja, through cannabis.
Yeah, that's right. That's what brings us everybody together. I mean, all faiths, races, colors, creed. That's the one thing that brings us together.
I see you got another picture with Buddy, too, at some bar.
Oh, yeah. That's the bar he played at that night. It was in the Grill, Jamaica, up on the coast. Yeah, he had played at that bar the night before, that we were having breakfast there.
Right on. Very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I had to bring that up. I thought, this has got to be very cool story for sure. As soon as I see it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was. I hadn't thought of it in a long time. It was another time. Another gentleman I met in California, Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson adopted me also at an early stage.
I can see that. Perfect match, really. I can see that.
It's just kind of like attract like out there, no matter who you are, kind of thing.
No, I can totally see that. Just having spent the time with you that I have over the course of this past summer, the few events that I've attended in Tyendinaga Territory, I've had a great time there over the course of the time. And you have that fantastic farm of yours. Now tell me, how large of a space are we talking about here?
Well, we have 4 medical licenses on it. So each location is allowed to have 4 patients. Correct. So we have 4 patients. And we work hard. But the thing is, I'm a geneticist. So, like, I know how to move profiles around in plants for curing different diseases.
Right.
So it might sound pretty. It's really. It sounds simple to me, but it isn't that simple. But yeah, it is that simple. It's just the divine has put cannabinoids within cannabis for any living cell out there in any living thing. It's cellular. The CB1 receptor for the THC cannabinoid is cellular. There's one in every cell in your body. That's why it works so well. So when the CBD1 receptor in the cell is sent a message and it's not healthy, it does commit suicide. So this is cellular, and it isn't only for people; it's for animals. It's for absolutely anything that has a living cell within it.
That's right.
So I see the divine doing that. It wasn't quite by accident, and so within that, it has always been a homeostasis plant. It always has balanced the whole entire system of everything, not only man. Man, but not only man. Now man all of a sudden sees the benefits of the economics, and he's going to let the secrets out. Well, this one's a big one. This is the sacred herb. This is the Holy Grail. There's no doubt about it.
So how many strains do you have right now on the farm?
Well, what I've done something different than most people have done. Being a geneticist, what I've done is I haven't continued breeding to find that plant. I found the plant back in 87. I already had the candy I needed. So I have now brought all the other flavonoids, terpenes, cannabinoids into my wheelchair strain.
Perfecting it.
So I've got 147 wheelchair strains of different cannabis, cannabinoid, CBD, and THC, CBG profiles.
Oh, awesome!
I've taken this way beyond. Yes, that's exactly right. Because each plant is plant specific to person specific disease.
Oh, amazing! But with the same basic strain, which is
absolute. Yes. No. Always. I used the basic strain, if we'll call it that, flagship, because it's got all the candy and the terpene profiles already. It already has everything.
Right. And then
so
now
most people ran
to it and take away from it and perfect it for different things from that.
Yeah, so now the wheelchair has 60 strains of CBD THC profiles. Within that, there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different profiles in the phenos. Somebody got it. Cool. And we went back. Like I was a founding member of the Industrial Hemp Council in 1996. It was in Winnipeg, and I never left CBD. As a geneticist, I always stayed on it, always knowing it was going to become the most valuable cannabinoid.
And so many people bred it out, eh?
Well, yeah. Well, even worse than that, though. Not that they bred it out. We all went for the THC, which automatically everything almost bred out of it.
Yeah,
is true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's so true. So we almost did do that.
Yeah. Now we're trying to get it back in.
Yeah, there seems to be lots of CBD strains out there.
Yes, I believe I have.
All the time.
Yeah, absolutely, and with more understanding. Now, here's a problem. We got a big problem here, everybody. The big problem here, everybody, is that they never ever wanted the THC evil cannabinoid. It was always evil. Got you high, oh my God, Jesus Christ,
the family.
Oh my God. So they're going to spend 9.9 cents out of every dollar is going to be spent on bringing people to CBD. They're not even going to know what THC is in a very short period of time. They're going to be taught, bred, and teach that they're going to go to the store and looking for the milligrams of CBD.
They're really gearing
And
it
that's
that
it.
way, aren't
And
they?
and that's and that's just not fair, because it isn't. You can't isolate a cannabinoid like that, and it becomes the miracle cannabinoid. It's good for certain things, but boy, you're losing everything if you don't have the full plant extraction of flavonoids and terpenes, and you don't have it.
That's right.
And
The
that's
whole
just as
plant
simple
remedy
as it
is
is.
the only way to go. I mean, it's that simple. One element on its own does not work as well as the entire gamut. It just doesn't.
It may work really
like
well for one thing. Yeah, but it may work.
It's like a chorus. I mean, a lot of people love soprano. Okay, great. Let's take just the soprano singer and listen to them. They sound good, but they sound better with the choir.
Very good analogy there. Yeah, very good. I like it.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? It sounds great, but it sounds better with the choir. It just does. That's how it works.
So for Dr. Bud is a character. My name is Chester. Dr. Bud being the character, he's driven by passion, and he's got a job to do. I've made certain promises to the divine that I'll be keeping. So within that, Dr. Bud is non-corporative, so I would really like to put together an actual non-corporative business within the cannabis world, so we don't have all the rules and regulations and everything else you have to do and whatever. And then I'd like to become the hub for cannabis because of the extensive knowledge. Like, we could just start by first of all educating, and then 101 growing, and then extraction, then raw juicing, then making oils give them the whole spectrum of the cannabis world. Give it to them for free. I want everything we do. One other thing that I've done is I've never charged for anything I've ever done. I don't have a fucking product that I don't charge, but I sure have given a lot of medicine away to a lot of people. And within that, I still want to use that as my format for doing what we're doing. We should be giving this away to our brothers and sisters. We shouldn't be seeing what margins we can make on it.
Right.
And the people that are making these margin decisions, they're not going to make it. The plant's plant specific. The plant's intent. The plant has intent. If you're working with these plants for the wrong reason, they won't work for you. And everybody will go, oh my God, their plant intent, they take up my intentions. When I say, girls, you smell like candy, they smell like candy. Girls, they smell like, honestly, like the plants just take your intent up when you get this close to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have that relationship with your garden and your girls, and the quality of the product that you produce, it shows. And I believe that, any garden that's grown with love will produce a far better product than one that's grown with commercial chemicals and without any attention. We see that in every plant material that grows.
So the people, this is interesting. Now everybody's going to be allowed to grow a few plants and stuff, Like, how are they? Nobody's going to be like us, man. It's going to be like, remember when we used to have the plant on the windowsill holding up with the popsicle stick? You remember those days? It's going to be a whole lot of popsicle sticks and a lot of windows for a while.
Yeah, people finding their way. There's going to be a lot of first-timers saying, well, I'm allowed to, so I'm going to do this, right? And
absolutely.
There's going to be a lot.
That was another thing about the plant. Everybody think, oh, well, it's nothing. You just grow a plant. It's easy as pie. Yeah, that's for sure. Anybody that believes farming's easy knows nothing about labor.
That's it.
I'll tell you that right now.
Exactly. I was recently talking to a patient, and they couldn't believe it. They said this was their first time through a garden, and they couldn't believe how much work was involved in it. It's like a regular job, is the way they thought.
You don't just throw them in the ground and walk away.
Exactly.
No. Yeah. It's pretty mind-boggling.
Love you back. That's what I always say.
Yeah, it's labor intensive. You've got to put a lot of work in, a lot of man hours. You've got to take care of them. They're only going to give you what you put into it.
And when you're done, you got to keep going. You do it again.
There's never done. You're never done.
You're never done. You're just starting all the time.
That's right. You've got to get the new ones on, because before you're harvesting, the new ones are started. So
yeah,
you're never done.
Yeah.
So good news in legalizations, because that's all we ever wanted to do anyway, was just educate people, just give them the truth. And that's what turned us into, bad people, because they couldn't allow people running around telling people the truth. That's not the way the game's played out there.
Yeah, but now they got people going around. Some
people
are running around telling stories now.
Yeah.
Oh, I guarantee you by tomorrow morning, everybody in Canada is an expert in the cannabis business. I mean, everybody's going to be telling everybody how to do it, what to say. I mean, it's going to be mind-boggling how many experts we're going to have in a week.
Oh, yeah. Everybody will know everything there is to know, because, they went and they figured it out yesterday when it became legal.
They heard it on the news. The news told them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
They know it all.
Yeah, but this is the work of, as I said today, I posted today, millions of people have been involved in order to make this change happen.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of great names out there. Whew.
Yeah, I know.
There's some real killers.
And there's also millions out there who are nameless and will always be nameless, and they are the faces out there that made the push. The ones that talked to their MPs, the ones that attended the rallies and the events quietly in the background, carrying the sign, adding to the numbers en masse in these marches that never get any recognition. We see hundreds of thousands of people of some of these rallies, but we talk about the top 5. Yeah. Well, there's, 150,000 other people that were there as well, and we don't know any of their names.
From being involved in community projects to get, people getting their faces out there, coming out of the closet, it just seemed to be, it was a ball that started rolling and just kept going and going and got bigger and bigger. And over, these last 15 years from what I've seen, it's just humongous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's just happened? What has just happened on the earth is we just got the largest industry ever laid on us. This is going to make the tech world look like pocket change, okay? And I'm serious about that. Pocket change. Those trillions of dollars is pocket change compared to what's about to happen now through the cannabis industrial world.
Yeah, I mean,
when we start burning our own biomass fuel to run our own generators, we start making our own pulp, we make our own jet airplanes, all the cars, everything else from biomass fuel, biomass from hemp.
Yeah, consumption is the bottom of the first rung. That's the first step, and this ladder is vast.
But it's so big, big, like nothing like it ever. We started supplying all the fuel for the world, man, with getting rid of all this. My God, just that you can't add this up. That's how big the industry is.
Yeah, and I mean
that's how important.
And that can all come from the basically the trash that we're getting after harvest, the stalks, all of that is where the fiber and everything is contained. So shit that we're burning right now can be turned into a whole entire new industries on large scale.
You're going to have to take the word trash back, though. You got to take that word trash back. I got you on the trash word. But I knew what you meant. Yes. The plant, 100% of the plant is viable. Yes, that's true.
And under
trash, it can all be used.
Yeah, under the new Cannabis Act that just came into effect today, the hemp regulations have also been improved.
Well, that's not. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Hemp cannabis, all of the cannabis strains. So that's in hemp is included. It's all one real plant. It's just different strains.
Yeah, because the growers of hemp have only been able to use the seeds. Now I believe they can use more of the plant as a a product that's available commercially. Yeah.
All the outside skin, the bark, that's all your textiles. Everything, all the inside stuff that you mash up into mash is cellulose for everything else that cellulose makes, which is everything from the body of a jet airplane.
Now, right?
Pardon?
That, Kim?
They're even doing batteries with that now. They're saying that it's conductive.
Yeah, 50,000 products, and we knew it back in '96, man. 50,000 products, man. It's endless, and that's why they did what they did to it, man. That's why this happened to Canada. Of course.
It would have sunk so many industries. I mean, it all started, of course, with Hearst and DuPont, and then they met up with Anslinger, and it was all over then. But, I mean, the offshoot businesses, we wouldn't have the plastic industry we have today.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have, de Havilland making airplanes out of, fiberglass. We'd be using hemp byproducts for all of these products in today's world.
Yep.
And the nice thing about hemp, too, it's labor intense. Everybody goes to work. It's labor intense, this industry, man. It's like back to making cars.
Yeah.
It's not back to making chips.
We've come a long way, and the education continues. I know we're almost at time, but on the note of education continuing, I want to, when we come back from break, talk a little bit about the ongoing collaboration you've had a chance and an opportunity to take part in with none other than Dr. Paul Hornby.
Oh, yeah.
And your book, too. I can't forget.
But man, I love that guy.
Okay, well, let's go for break.
About your book when we get back.
Yeah, we'll go for break, and then we'll get going at this. Okay, now the second song we're going to hear that's connected to yourself, Dr. Bud, as well as what's happening here in Canada, and this song is by a band called King Bong, and we're going to hear a song called Grow. When we return, Kim and I will continue this discussion with our friend, Dr. Bud. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at lifestyleradio.net.
Hey, this is Cheech.
And this is Chong.
And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
What is it?
Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time.
420 Radio?
Ooh.
Hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Grow some marijuana, slow down, farm some weed. Slow down, grow some marijuana, free yourself from the corporate greed. Slow down, grow some marijuana, slow down, farm some weed. Slow down, grow some marijuana, free yourself, hydroponically. Grow, grow, grow.
Man, have you been to Canadays yet? Canadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck and wholesaler Nexus. Canadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canadays can help. They're a PACE information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canadays. Have your say without saying a word. Canadays.ca.
Hey, it's Al Graham. Did you know that the nominations for the Canadian Cannabis Awards have been announced? Well, I'm delighted to say that for the second year in a row, the Pace Radio Show has been nominated for the top podcast. If you agree, Kim, Alicia, Debbie, as well as myself would appreciate and thank you if you went to CanadianCannabisAwards.com and voted for our program. You can find the Pace Radio Show in the top podcast category. And while you're there, you can also vote for Kim Cooper as the top influencer. Thank you for your vote, and thank you for the support. We really appreciate it.
This is Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Catch me on The Reefer Reporters, aired on lifestyleradio.net. Available for replay or download on Lifestyle Radio or Spreaker.
Tune in to DJ Passion from the land of Ganja, the island of Jamaica, when he comes to you live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on lifestyleradio.net. Listen in until midnight every weekend as he spins your favorite reggae tunes, including the classics, from Butterfly's Passion, Bed and Breakfast Above Discovery Bay. DJ Passion makes you feel like you are on the island. Head to the land of sun, fun, and ganja weekly when you tune in Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to Reggae Saturday with DJ Passion, live here on lifestyleradio.net.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Welcome to Vancouver Island, the Garden Island, where many of us have gardening interests. Mortgage burners, one and all, line up. Have I got a
Welcome
plan
back, and
for
thanks for
you?
tuning in to the Pace Radio Show. We are being broadcasted live at lifestyleradio.net. Plus, you can also catch the podcast if you can't catch live programs. You can find us at iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Mixcloud, as well as iHeartRadio North America wide. Tonight's bumper music was by the In Disguise, and King Bong. Two parts of two songs, one for the first commercial break and one for the second set. One band is from the West Coast and one band is from the East Coast. So I made sure we got both ends of the country as well. So these guys got lots of cannabis tunes, so I suggest that you look them up on YouTube as well as other places on cyberspace. Tonight on the program, we are joined by our guest, Dr. Bud, and my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Okay, Kim, we're into our last segment. Looks like we've got about 25 minutes to go. You've still got lots you want to cover.
I do. I want to talk about Dr. Hornby, but I want to make sure we have time to get the book in. So let's start with the book instead. You've got a new book coming out. Chester, tell me about Dr. Bud.
Are you referring to the Skunk magazine?
Yeah. Is there a new book that you're releasing that's called Dr. Bud now about wheelchair weed?
No. That's not being put into a. That's not being put into a book. That's our good friend Johnny down at Skunk Magazine, who gave us a good hand there. What we're doing, the Dr. Bud has actually been put into a full-blown movie. We've already got a 350,000-word script to it.
Movie.
So it's
movie, even bigger than a book. A movie.
Even better.
Well, yeah, we're getting quite a bit of action on it. We've had quite a few producers talking to us about it now. And so, yeah, we want to show the story from the beginning to the end, the days of when we were in the jungle and hiding under plants from helicopters, up till the modern day of legalization, and show our culture within it and give it a pretty true, factual, live, a real live story about how the deal really was instead of how people were told it was.
Oh, that is so very cool. So you've got your in talks for getting this produced?
Yeah, we definitely have that for sure. At least that far. Like everything else too, with the legalization, I've had many LPs come down my laneway. Honored to have them here and honored to share our information with them and stuff. But Dr. Bud's not for sale in the cannabis industry. We're here to help who and all in every way we can, and but we're not for sale. We're not corporative. We don't really like what's going on there, but we like everything to do with cannabis, and that's part of getting the teaching out. Then we're going to have to support it.
Awesome.
So, but we do know it. Yeah. Well, we really do. So yeah, help them all. Help everybody. This criticism and this childish, egotistical I thing in the industry just doesn't work for anything. So we have to support everybody who's doing whatever. I like what's going on. I like what I've seen. I'm amazed that they did so well knowing nothing.
Yeah. Going in blind.
How can you? Yeah, how can you go into stuff? They just knew enough about business, and I say they. I don't know why I really refer to as they. I guess but they, you know what? They're kind of pulling it off.
Mm-hmm. They did
so
something, right? I mean, they put a draft out there. Yeah, it's not perfect, but hey, it's something. Yeah. It's a place to start, right?
Yeah, and I like it. So Louise, this and shit, everything else, but generally everybody's getting the word, and that's was our deal, to educate.
Yeah.
Even bad education or even bad news in the cannabis industry with, eradicating pot and whatever else, it's still news, and it's still somebody's learning something about something.
That's right. And like, Al created this show and has given all of us a voice. And that's exactly what the name of this show is. People advocating cannabis education. And that's our main goal here as well. The education is key, right?
Mm. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Al.
Sure.
I'm just agreeing. Go ahead, though, Dr. Bud. Yeah, I'm
wonderful.
Great, yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, for sure. So
knowledge, as they say, knowledge is power.
That's right.
Now knowledge is everything.
Correct. And they've had all this knowledge and held it from us. Now everybody's learned it, and it's just come too big. They couldn't hold it back.
That's right. That's right. And it'll evolve from here. And okay, well, do you have any sort of can you give us a timeline or anything, or are we just at the start of talks here, evolving situation?
Well, it's there is no timeline to it, because I would be impossible for me to do that, because I'm not doing it. The universe does it. So I certainly will be the last guy that gets the universe's timeline. It comes when it's supposed to, and it leaves when it's supposed to. That's what happens in life.
That's it.
So no, the timeline will be when it's most needed. I would think that would be the timeline. When it's the most needed at the most time, that's when it will be made to happen. That's how it always works. So.
There we go.
Within that.
There we go.
Yeah, within that. So, but personally, I'm called Dr. Bud because of the medicines I've given away and the people I've helped over the years. But if I was going to write my thesis, which I would think, because I would like to actually become a doctor of cannabis. Now, there's no such thing, and I don't have the time to wait for university, so I'm going to have to create my own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a thesis, and I'm going to write it on, I am going to consciously change your awareness and understanding enough through using cannabinoids for you to know yourself well enough to heal yourself. Through cannabinoids, I'm going to make you aware of yourself enough that you will know yourself well enough to heal yourself. And only cannabinoids can do that with the mind, with the conscious state of mind. It's the only thing that has the receptors that can open it that wide. Oh, except for maybe psilocybin mushrooms. They work pretty good. There might be a couple of other on the list. Peyote comes to mind too now.
Psychedelic is a whole other realm, right?
Yeah. Well, it's medicine within itself, and it's just because we're told that you smoke pot and you get high. Well, no, you smoke pot and you have a different conscious awareness. If they want to call that high, that's fine. But the high is the conscious awareness. Now, sometimes it's sleepy, sometimes it's just depending probably on your moods about the awareness that's going to come out. But I can guarantee you smoke a joint, you're going to get a different conscious awareness.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
No doubt about it.
Opens the mind.
Yeah.
Education, continuing the education. Hopefully the movie will get made in the near future so we can all enjoy watching that. So I'll be pulling for the universe to be pulling for you for sure. You've been talk about this real quick in the last 5 or 10 minutes we've got here. Let's talk about your time you've spent in the last couple of months with Dr. Hornby hanging about the farm and the establishment down there in Tyendinaga. You guys have been spending a lot of time together and collaborating on some different things. I enjoyed spending the weekend with both of you during the Indigenous Music Fest. It was quite the time just being able to sit back in my chair and be quiet, which is rare for me, and just listen to the two of you talk. That was amazing.
So Dr. Hornby in himself is an amazing being for sure. But again, we got to go back to Tim, man, Mr. Barnhart. He in his mind is putting together a opiate reduction program.
Nice.
I may not get the proper English, all the words for it properly, but they're going to put together an opiate reduction program. Now, the reason that Mr. Hornby's there is because he can use he can do live studies.
Right.
Where he would not be able to do that out here for the next million years. So he sees the opportunity to forward his work in that field, and Tim's given the opportunity to come there and work within the laboratories and stuff with him and use the people and support them and pay them. Just that could help.
That's really where it's at these days. I'm hearing that from a lot of professionals that use, more homeopathic medicine and naturally based medicines. They're saying, live blood analysis. That's where it's at, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. So this gives him that opportunity because they're a sovereign nation and you can't tell them they can't.
Right.
So when I seen the opportunity, I went, so I knew exactly what Paul was doing there in a minute, and I can definitely congratulated and supported him, 100%. I'm very anxious to see the outcome of this report. Very, very, very progressive, very forward on Mr. Barnhart's, he works for the community, man. This guy works for his community in the better of every way, so.
Some people think of, when they think of a dispensary on the reserve, some people think of a smoke shack or a small trailer.
Mm-hmm.
This is not that. This is a place
that's
fully equipped with a lab, processing facilities.
Well, it surpasses Health Canada standards, right?
Yeah. So Paul and Paul's like Mr. Hornby, Dr. Hornby, as I should call him. He's just like one of the boys,
Yeah.
He was the one who actually legitimized all the dispensaries in Vancouver and British Columbia.
Yeah.
He was hiding in the laboratory down at Hillary Black's place at the Vancouver Compassion Club for years doing all the testing.
Yeah.
This guy's been with us since day one, so for him to see this, to get this opportunity, I couldn't be happier for him.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lifetime of work for him.
I know. Have you guys been enjoying time in the greenhouse as well?
Not so much. I was busy with harvest.
It is that time of the year, isn't it?
I saw some pictures. I saw some photos. And nice.
Yeah, we we didn't get out of the yard for quite a while.
One question that always gets asked to me at this time of the year is, how much cold can they take?
Yeah.
I've had plants and I've had wheelchairs back in the day that could go to 6 below. I've had lots of plants with snow on them, but I've also had plants where the buds are ice capped, which means I walk up and I can actually lift like a glass of ice off my bud, and the bud just steams without even being damaged.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what can they take? Yeah, you know, a good Afghani out of the Hindu Kush mountains of Afghanistan can take a pretty good frost. I'll tell you, she gets up to about 7,000 or 8,000 feet. She's pretty cool up there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Afghanistan doesn't necessarily mean always hot.
No, Afghanistan. Well, that's why the Afghanis and Pakistan, all those strains work so well here because we have the same climates.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's why you plant them here. You look like you're a big, an intelligent farmer. You know, you got the right strain, you got the right genetics, you got the right conditions. Yeah, those Afghanis work really good here.
Yeah. So there you go. You heard it from Dr. Bud. Afghani strains, or you know, you can always look out for some nice wheelchair weed.
I actually.
Well, the wheelchair is original. Is Purple Hindu Kush. I got it in '83 out of Oregon, and it was crossed in '87 with Northern Lights No. 5, Neville's plant.
And so see, Northern Lights is one of my faves.
Yeah. Well, Northern Lights No. 5, that strain was brought to Europe by Neville. He was the very first person to open a seed bank in Europe. And he brought 11 of those seeds, and they created about 90% of all the strains made for the next 15 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm blessed to get it right from the day one. You know, the seeds I get from Neville.
Nice.
So, yeah, it is. I'm honored to be. There's a lot of great pioneers out there that's done a lot of work for us. That's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, the strains have grown by leaps and bounds, and some of the genetics that they're crossing together. And it's not just willy-nilly crossing. Oh, let's take this one and that one and cross it. I mean, there's thought process that goes into it. Well, this pairs well with this, and this will enhance that. And, you know, it's thought out.
Yeah, absolutely. By the divine. We're only the workers. People look at me, they'll stand out there and they'll be looking at the garden and they'll go, "Oh my God, Doc, how do you do it?" And I look at them and say, "Man, I'm only holding the hose."
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. I'm standing here holding the hose with water. I'm not doing any of this, man. This is already done.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Bud, we are getting down to that shout-out time.
Yep, we are.
Very cool, very cool,
right.
Very cool.
There's obviously a lot more that we need to talk to you about. We spent a lot of time talking about legalization. We're going to have you come back to the program.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. It'd be a pleasure for sure. Yeah. We'll do that.
Being we're in the same neck of woods, we'll have to get together someday.
Yeah, man, boy, you're right around the corner. We're neighbors.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, give me a scream when you get over here. Yeah, right on, man.
All righty, guys.
Give me a scream when you get home.
Okay, we'll do that. So this is an opportunity to give a shout out to a person, place, a thing. You know, if you want someone to reach out to you, if you want to throw your contact information, that's up to yourself, whatever. So yeah, you've got the floor.
Oh wow, well that's too cool. And yeah, and I've mentioned so many times already, but Legacy 420, man.
Yeah,
like I Jim Barnhart. Yeah, man. I tip off my hat to that gentleman. He's a very, very smart man. He's a warrior. So, and he's right. I love it when a person's right.
Yeah.
and they know it.
Yeah. When I first met Tim and he was down at the other building and all that, this was years ago. A few years back, it was he kept pushing that point about the inherited rights, and everybody's going, what? And the police did come talk to him and all that, and then he explained a lot, and then they started stepping back, and then from there you could just see people go, "Hey, he's right."
Inherent right. And then everybody's
expanded.
going, inherent right. And now we see the UN discussing it.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure. And let's say maybe 50 stores plus has emerged out of that bravery of that first person,
Yeah, well,
they turned it.
Yeah,
they turned this into a real goddamn business over there,
and they're doing spread, and it's spread.
Oh, is it ever, man? Like you say, there's new buildings, there's new houses, there's new cars, there's new paint. It's beautiful to see.
It's being discussed at all the reserves across the country.
Yeah,
I know he's been going to meetings, out west.
Correct. Well,
that an employed population has a happy population.
Yeah. Well, so he's put together an organization called NIMCA, the National Indigenous Medical Cannabis Association. So what NIMCA is about to do is they become the governing body for the indigenous cannabis communities.
That's fantastic.
They will have the testing facilities. They will be able to make sure everything's proper to go to each individual store. It'll be like what the government's doing with the LPs, only it'll be our own LPs and our own business. And he has that vision, and he has the capability to put that together.
Yeah, and
so
the way he's doing
great vision.
The way he's doing it is so much better than the LP system. My hat's off to him for sure. One example is LP system puts a product out there and then does the testing. So if the testing comes back that there's something wrong with it, they have to do a recall. Whereas with Tim's system, the product is tested before it hits the store shelves. It doesn't go out until it's tested, which makes far more sense than the way that the LP system is doing it. So he's following guidelines, but he's taking them a step further.
Hiring licensed technicians.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Building a model beyond. Yeah. Smart. That's what I keep saying. He's smart.
Yeah.
I like him a lot because he's smart. He has vision, and he gets up and gets it done. So boy, I'm very happy for him and everybody associated with him. He's got a heck of a team around him too. They're employing 50 people down there plus.
So many, and it's not just Tyendinaga that's benefiting. I mean, he spreads it around. He's been a major sponsor for the Timmins community over the past summer. He sponsored every single one of the events that we've had this year. I mean, that's huge for our little community.
Yeah.
And he's getting involved in non-cannabis events as well. He's got a mixed martial arts person there he's sponsored. He's got Legalization. Yeah.
Yes, man. Yes, he's sponsoring a young lady. Very, very beautiful. I met her several times. Wonderful lady. We actually went down to the fight in Quebec City about 2 weeks ago.
I saw
that was pretty cool.
Actually. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and then in the end, attended all before his head gets too swollen. One time I was reading a Facebook thing, and he sent somebody some money for his dog.
Yeah.
A guy's dog was down and out or something. Honest to God, I looked it up. I said, "Oh my God!" About tears in my eyes.
He paid the vet bill, so the dog didn't have to die.
There you go.
That's the kind of guy he is.
So my shout out goes to him for sure.
All right, good choice. Okay.
Yeah.
My shout out is going to be fairly quick. My shout out is to absolutely everybody and anybody out there that has ever written a letter, stood up and spoken out to somebody that was denying cannabis rights or cannabis freedoms, everybody that's attended a rally, anybody that's ever done any small measure of thing to push this movement forward. My shout out is to you, to all of you, because it has taken all of these small people, small steps, and small things to get us where we are today. It wasn't done by one person. It wasn't even done by a handful. It was done by the masses. And I thank everyone for standing up and taking a stand. And congratulations, we did it.
Exactly. Gotta agree with
Bravo. All right.
Bravo.
Thank you, Kim. That's beautiful.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to throw a shout out to those at the Ganja Nisa's Vapor Lounge at King Street in Hamilton who are listening to tonight's broadcast, as well as tongue twister here, as well as all of today's broadcasts. The shows have been live at Ganja Nisa's, including the next one. We're gonna take a bit of a break here, and then Kim and I are going to return with Al and some of the other hosts here on Lifestyle Radio. And we're going to talk further more about legalization, what maybe we saw today, what transpired, and stories from what from the past and all that. So,
yeah.
So join us for that. Also, I want to throw a reminder to let you know that the Pace Radio Show has been nominated this year once again, back-to-back years for top podcast. Voting goes on until October the 26th. If you like what you're hearing, you can vote at CanadianCannabisAwards.ca. Let's see, reminders. Next week, Debbie Stoltz-Giffen will be joining us with her special guest, as well as you can catch the Pace Radio Show on Twitter, Instagram, as well as you can see us online at pace-online.ca. Oh yeah, don't forget, we're on Facebook as well. Thank yous go to our sponsors, the friendly folks at Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler, that's CC Nexus, and they are available at ccnexus.global. Also, thank yous to our producer, Al Rapp. I'm sure he's got his shadowizer in his hand right now down there at the lounge. He's smoking a moon rock. That's right.
There you go.
It's still going. The bucket. A huge thank you to you, Dr. Butt, for participating tonight. I really appreciate you coming out and speaking to us and our listeners.
All right. Thank you. God bless.
You're welcome. Kim, as always, thank you for everything you do.
My pleasure to be here, Al. Thank you for the opportunity. As always, love being here and appreciate you giving me the chance to have a voice.
You're welcome. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in the program. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
What are you doing? Nothing.
Good night.
Why not? Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website. Sounds like a cool website. Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it. You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.